Now, Gaza's civil defense agency says Israeli forces killed at least 62 people on Friday, including 10 who were waiting for aid in the territory. Now, this is just the latest in a series of such incidents since the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a private organization backed by the United States and Israel, began delivering aid into Gaza a month ago. The UN and aid groups have criticized the chaotic food distribution in the territory that has left hundreds of people dead. Israel says it is looking into the incidents. For more on this, I would like to welcome Rachael Cummings, humanitarian director of the organization Save the Children in Gaza. Your organization says that just in the last month, more than 500 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces while trying to access aid. I mean, that is a staggering figure. Can you just explain how this is happening?
You know, it's extraordinary what's happening in Gaza and the impossible choices that people are having to make to literally risk their lives for a bag of flour. The choices that people are making, having to leave their families and go to these distribution points within militarized zones. And as I said, risking their lives for food. The situation is extraordinary. The reports coming out of over 500 people having been killed within the last 4 weeks of these distribution points starting. And of course, thousands and thousands of people being injured in the vicinity of or in the distribution points themselves. Desperate situation for people in Gaza.
And are these distribution points all run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation? Perhaps you could just explain what it looks like and how it is going about organizing that distribution.
Well, the distribution itself from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, they are, as far as I'm aware, running 3 distribution points in the south, in Rafah, which is a militarized zone, and then one in the Netzarim corridor, a very, very highly kinetic and dangerous part of Gaza. And what we understand is they are absolutely chaotic scenes. They are not organized. They are not well managed at all. People are being pushed into fenced areas and then, if you like, released to then go and search for and run for and then fight for the very limited supplies that are available. Now, Save the Children, the UN, other humanitarian actors in Gaza who've been working in Gaza for decades, we know how to do safe and dignified distributions of food and other humanitarian assistance. We need to be allowed to do our jobs to provide humanitarian assistance to people who are in desperate situation to receive food and other life-sustaining, saving interventions.
And indeed, many organizations that have, as you say, for years been providing aid, including the United Nations, have refused to work with this group because they're worried it both serves Israeli military goals and also violates humanitarian principles. Just to try and look at this somehow constructively, how would it be possible for Gaza to return to an established humanitarian aid system?
Well, as I said, we know what works in Gaza, and the UN and other agencies, including Save the Children, have been working here for decades, providing humanitarian assistance. What we need to have in place for humanitarian assistance to be provided to the most vulnerable in a safe and dignified way is to allow the humanitarian supplies to enter Gaza in a predictable manner so that we can communicate with communities so that people understand when and how they will be receiving food assistance and other humanitarian supplies. Now, between January and March, there was a pause in the hostilities. During that ceasefire, 600 trucks a day were entering Gaza, and humanitarian supplies were able to reach the most vulnerable, being children, women, disabled, elderly. That was happening, and there was people accepting and receiving aid. Now, we need that predictability back, and we need access to the populations to be able to continue that services.
And right now, what is the situation like for Save the Children? Give us a sense of how difficult it is, or whether you're even able to get aid in to help children in Gaza.
We have not received any supplies for months, way before the beginning of March when the blockade was started on the 2nd of March. So we are running our services with very much nearly bare and empty warehouses in Gaza. We are running health centres, we are running nutrition points, and we've received nutrition commodities, nutrition supplies from UNICEF and other partners. Our child protection learning centres are running pretty much with no supplies because, of course, we have our teams able to provide those services. But what we need to be able to continue and to maintain our services is obviously our medical supplies, our other service supplies to come into Gaza. We've got over 50 trucks of supplies outside of Gaza on the wrong side of the border that need to come in very, very quickly for us to be able to continue services here.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for painting that picture for us. We've been speaking with Rachael Cummings with Save the Children. We very much appreciate your time today.
Thank you.